Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. We're going to go ahead and do a live English Quran recitation of Juz 13 and 14, inshallah. I wish you a Jummah Mubarak wherever you are, and I hope that you're having a good Ramadan. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul yuqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Ameen. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. We left off yesterday right at the beginning of Juz 13. We are in Surah Yusuf. So we'll pick up from Ayah 52 of Surah Yusuf in Juz 13. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Not that I am free from sin, man's soul is prone to evil, except the one to whom my Rabb has shown mercy. Certainly my Rabb is forgiving, merciful. The king said, "Bring him to me. I will take him for my special service." When Yusuf had a talk with the king, he said, "From now on, you have an honorable place with us, and you will enjoy our full confidence." Yusuf said, "Place me over all the resources of the land. Certainly, I know how to manage. I have the necessary knowledge." Thus we established Yusuf in the land to live therein anywhere he wished. We bestowed our mercy on him. We please, and we do not let the reward of good people be lost. Yet the reward in the hereafter will be even better for those who believe and are righteous. Several years later, when the famine started and there was no food available outside of Egypt, Yusuf's brothers came to Egypt for food and entered his office. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I forgot to put my mic on, so I'm going to do that. Excuse me. Bismillah. Okay. Okay. Great. That should do it. Okay. Brothers and sisters, if anyone is watching this or if anyone's ever going to watch this, please forgive me as I am new to this live business and podcasting. So, of course, as you can tell, I'm an amateur, but may Allah accept the intention behind the act. So, as we were, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Several years later, when the famine started and there was no food available outside of Egypt, Yusuf's brothers came to Egypt for food and entered his office. He recognized them, but they did not recognize him. When he had given them their due provisions and they were about to leave, he said, "Bring your half-brother to me next time. Do you not see that I give full measure and provide the best hospitality? But if you do not bring him, you shall have no grain, nor shall you even come near me again." They replied, "We shall certainly try our best to get permission from his father. This we will surely do." Yusuf told his servants to put his brother's trading stock, into their saddlebags secretly so that they should know that it only when they reach their family, so that they might come back. When Yusuf's brothers returned to their father, they said, "Father, grain is henceforth denied us unless we take our stepbrother with us. Please send our brother with us so that we may get our measure. We take full responsibility for his safety." He said, "Should I trust you with him as I once trusted you with his brother? Allah is the best protector and He is the most merciful of those who show mercy." When they opened their luggage, they discovered that their money had been returned to them. "Father," they cried with joy, "what more can we ask for?" Here is our trading stock returned to us. We will bring more food for our family. We will take good care of our brother and obtain an extra camel load of grain. This way, it will be easy to add another camel load of grain. Yaqub said, I will never send him with you until you pledge in the name of Allah that you will surely bring him back to me unless you become helpless. And when they had given their pledge, he said, Allah is the witness over the pledge you made. Then he said, my sons, do not enter through one gate. Enter through different gates. I cannot avail you against Allah's decree. This advice is just a precaution, because decision lies with Allah alone. In Him do I put my trust, and in Him let all those that trust put their trust in Him. When they entered the city as their father had advised them, it did not avail them against the will of Allah. It was just a concern in Yaqub's heart, which he satisfied. Indeed, he possessed the Indeed, he possessed the knowledge which he had given him, but most people do not know. When they entered upon Yusuf, he called his brother Benjamin alone to himself and said, in fact, I am your brother Yusuf. Now you need not to grieve at what they had been doing. While Yusuf was arranging the loads of their provisions, he put the royal drinking cup into his brother's pack. Later on, a crier called out, O people of the caravan, you must be thieves. They turned back and asked, what have you lost? The royal servant said, we have lost the king's drinking cup. The one who brings it will be awarded a camel load of food. Their leader said, I guarantee it. Yusuf's brother said, by Allah, you should know by our behavior during our stay here that we did not come here to make mischief in the land, and we are no thieves. The royal servant said, what should be the punishment of the thief if you are liars? They replied, the punishment is, he in whose pack you find the royal cup will be to make him your bondsman. That's how we punish wrongdoers. After this, Yusuf first began to search the packs of his stepbrothers before the pack of his own brother Benjamin. Finally, he took it out of his brother's pack. Thus did we plan for Yusuf. He could not seize his brother under the king's law, but Allah willed otherwise. We exalt in ranks whom we please. He is the one whose knowledge is far greater than the knowledge of all others. At this accusation, his brothers remarked, this is not strange if he has committed a theft, for his brother had committed a theft before him. Hearing this, Yusuf suppressed his feelings and did not reveal anything to them. He simply whispered to himself, you are far worse in this respect. Allah knows best the truth of what you assert. They said, O Aziz, he, Benjamin, has a very aged father who may not be able to survive without him. So please take one of us instead of him. We see that you are one of those who do good to others. Yusuf replied, God forbid that we should seize other than the one with whom we found our property. If we did so, then indeed we would be unjust. When they lost their hope of moving Yusuf, they went aside to confer in private. The eldest of them said, you know that your father had taken from you a solemn pledge in the name of Allah, and you also know how you fell short of your duty with respect to Yusuf. Therefore, I'm not going to leave this land until my father gives me permission or Allah decides for me. And he is the best of all judges. Go back to your father and tell him, Father, your son committed theft. We did not see him stealing. However, we saw the stolen cup being brought out of his pack. We testify only to what we know, and we could not guard the unseen. You may inquire from the people of the city where we have been and the caravan in which we traveled that we are indeed telling the truth. When they went back and told all this to their father, no, cried their father, your souls have contrived a story for you. Well, I will bear this too with good patience. Maybe Allah will bring them all back to me. Indeed, He is the knowledgeable, the wise. He turned his face away from them, crying, alas for Yusuf! His eyes became white with grief, and he became sorely oppressed. They said, by Allah, it appears that you will not cease to remember Yusuf until you ruin your health or kill yourself. He said, I complain of my distress and grief to Allah alone. And I know from Allah what you do not know. O my sons, go and search for Yusuf and his brother. Never give up hope of Allah's mercy. In fact, none despairs of Allah's mercy except the unbelieving people. When they went back to Egypt and entered Yusuf's office, they said, O Aziz, we and our family are in quite great distress, and we have brought poor capital. Please give us full quota and treat it as charity to us. Surely Allah rewards the charitable. Hearing this, Yusuf, who could contain himself no longer, replied, Do you know what you did to Yusuf and his brother while acting out of ignorance? This took them by surprise, and they said, What? Are you really Yusuf? He replied, Yes, I am Yusuf, and this is my brother. Allah has indeed been gracious to us. Verily, he who fears Allah and is patient, then indeed Allah does not let the reward of the good doers be wasted. They said, By Allah, certainly Allah has preferred you over us. We have indeed been guilty. Yusuf said, There is no blame on you today. May Allah forgive you. He is the most merciful of those who show mercy. Go, take this shirt of mine and cast it over the face of my father. He will recover his sight. Then come back to me with all the members of your family. When the caravan started, their father said, Certainly I feel the scent of Yusuf, even though you may think I am out of my mind. The people who heard him said, By Allah, you are still suffering from your old illusion. But when the bearer of good news arrived, he cast the shirt of Yusuf over his face, and he regained his sight. Then he said, Didn't I tell you that I know from Allah what you do not know? They said, Father, pray for the forgiveness of our sins. We have indeed done wrong. He replied, Soon I will ask for forgiveness for you from my Rabb. Surely He is the one who is forgiving and merciful. When they came to Yusuf, he took his parents to himself and said, Welcome to Egypt. If Allah so wills, you will live here in peace. Then he raised his parents to the throne, and they all fell down in prostration before him. Yusuf said, Oh, my father, this is the interpretation of my old dream. My Rabb has really made it come true. It was His grace that He took me out of prison and brought you all here from Bedouin life, after Shaitan had stirred up strife between me and my brothers. Surely my Rabb is gracious to whom He wills. Surely He is the one who is the knowledgeable, the wise. O my Rabb, you have indeed given me sovereignty and taught me the interpretation of dreams. O the creator of the heavens and the earth, you are my protector in this world and in the hereafter. Make me die as a Muslim and admit me among the righteous. O Muhammad, the story which we have revealed to you is a news of the unseen, for you were not there with them when they conspired and put together their plan against him. Yet, strive as you may, most men are not going to become believers. Yet, strive as you may, most men are not going to become believers. Even though you do not demand any recompense for this information, this Quran is nothing but a reminder for all the worlds. There are many signs in the heavens and in the earth which they pass by, yet they pay no attention to them. As a result, most of them believe in Allah but still commit shirk. Do they feel secure that Allah's scourge will not fall on them, or that the hour of doom will not come upon them suddenly while they do not suspect it? Tell them plainly, this is my way. I invite you to Allah with sure knowledge, which I and my followers possess. Glory be to Allah, and I'm not one of the mushrikeen. We did not send Rasuls before you, O Muhammad, but men to whom we sent our revelations after choosing them from the people of their towns. Have these unbelievers not traveled through the land and seen what was the end of those who passed away before them? From their destiny, you should know that the home of the hereafter is better for those who are righteous. Why don't you understand? Respite was granted until the Rasuls gave up hope of their people and realized that they were being treated as liars. Our help came to them and we delivered those whom we pleased, and our scourge was not averted from the criminal people. There is a lesson in these stories of former people for the men of common sense. The story of Yusuf revealed in the Quran is not an invented tale, but a confirmation of previous scriptures, a detailed exposition of all things, and is a guidance and a blessing for the people who believe. I'm going to go ahead and start Surah Ar-Rad. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alif Lam Mim Ra. These are the verses of the book. And what has been revealed to you, O Muhammad, from your Rabb is the truth. But most of the people do not believe in this. Allah is the one who raised the heavens without any pillars, as you can see, then firmly established himself on the throne of authority and subjected the sun and the moon to his law, each one pursuing its course for an appointed time. He regulates all affairs. He spells out his revelation so that you may believe in meeting your Rabb. He is the one who spread out the earth and placed thereon mountains and rivers, created fruits of every kind in pairs, two and two, and makes the night cover the day. Certainly, in these things there are signs for those who use their common sense. In the earth there are tracts side by side, gardens of grapes, crops and palm trees growing singly or in cluster. They are all watered with the same water, yet we make some of them excel others in taste as food. Surely in this there are signs for people who use their common sense. Now, if there is anything that seems strange, then strange is their saying, what? When will we become dust? Could we then be raised to a new life again? They are the people who have denied their Rabb. They are those who will have chains around their necks, and they're the ones who will be the inmates of hellfire to live therein forever. They ask you to hasten the evil rather than the good, although there have been instances of exemplary punishment before them. In fact, your Rabb is the Lord of forgiveness to the people, notwithstanding their wrongdoing, and verily your Rabb is also stern in retribution. The unbelievers say, why is not a sign sent down to Muhammad from his Rabb? You are nothing but a warner, and every nation has assigned a guide. Allah knows what every female bears in her womb. He is fully aware of what decrease or increase takes place in the womb. Everything has a due measure with him. He has perfect knowledge of both the visible and the invisible. He is the great, the most high. It is the same to him whether any of you speak in secret or aloud, whether anyone hides under the darkness of night or walks about in broad daylight. Each person has been assigned guardian angels before him and behind him, who watch him by the command of Allah. The fact is that Allah never changes the condition of a people until they change what is in themselves. If Allah wants to afflict a people with misfortune, none can ward it off, nor can they find any protector besides him. He is the one who shows you lightning, which causes fear and hope and brings up heavy clouds. The thunder declares his glory and his praises, and so do the angels in awe of him. He is the one who sends thunderbolts and smites with them whomever he wants. Yet these unbelievers dispute concerning Allah. He is mighty in strength and severe in punishment. Praying to Him alone is the right thing. The other deities they pray to besides Him cannot answer their prayers. They're like a man who stretches forth his hands to the water and asks it to reach his mouth. It cannot reach his mouth this way. Likewise, the prayer of the unbelievers is nothing but a fruitless effort. Whatever is in the heavens and in the earth do prostrate before Allah alone, willingly or unwillingly, and so do their shadows in the mornings and in the evenings. Ask them, who is the Rabb of the heavens and the earth? If they hesitate to respond, say, Allah. Then ask them, when is the fact? When this is the fact, why do you take other deities besides Him who do not control any benefit or harm, even to themselves, as your protectors? Say, are the blind and the seeing equal? Or can darkness and the light be equal? If that is not so, then have their shuraka created anything like His creation, which has made the matter of creating doubtful for them. Say, Allah alone is the creator of everything, and He is the one and the irresistible. He sends down water from the skies, and each channel starts flowing according to its measure, and then the torrent bears a swelling foam, like the scum which appears from metals which are melted in the furnace, for making ornaments and utensils. By such examples, Allah depicts truth and falsehood. As for the scum, it is thrown away, being worthless, but that which is useful for mankind remains behind on the earth. In this way, Allah cites examples to make His message clear. There is an excellent reward for those who respond to the call of their Rabb. As for those who do not respond to Him, even if they had all that is in the earth and as much besides to offer as a ransom in order to save themselves from punishment, it would be of no use. They are the ones who will have a terrible reckoning. Their abode will be hell. What an evil resting place. Is He who knows what which has been revealed to you from your Rabb is the truth, like the one who is blind to this fact? Only those who use their common sense benefit from this reminder. Those who fulfill their covenant with Allah and do not break their pledge, who join together what Allah has commanded to be joined, who fear their Rabb and are afraid of the terrible reckoning, who, for the sake of Allah's pleasure, keep their patience, establish salah, spend secretly and openly out of the sustenance which we have provided for them, and repel evil with good. They are the ones for whom there is the home of the hereafter, the paradise of perpetual bliss, which they will enter together with the righteous among their forefathers, their spouses and their descendants. The angels will come to welcome them from every side, saying, peace be upon you, for all that you steadfastly endured in the world. How excellent is the home of the hereafter. As for those who break their covenant with Allah after confirming it and cut asunder what Allah has commanded to be joined and create mischief in the land, a curse shall be laid upon them, and they shall have a terrible home. Although Allah grants abundantly His provisions to whom He wills and sparingly to whom He pleases. The unbelievers rejoice in the life of this world, but brief indeed is the comfort of this worldly life as compared to the life of the hereafter. The unbelievers say, why has no sign been sent down to him, Muhammad, from his Rabb? Say, in fact, Allah lets go astray whom He wills and guides to Himself who turn to Him. Those who have believed and those whose hearts find comfort in the remembrance of Allah. Indeed, in the remembrance of Allah do hearts find comfort. Those who believe and do good deeds, Blessed be they, and blessed be their place of final return. O Muhammad, we have sent you among a nation before whom our nations have passed away, so that you may recite to them our revelations which we have sent down to you. Yet they are rejecting the compassionate. Say, He is my Rabb. There is none worthy of worship but He. In Him I have put my trust, and to Him I shall return. Even if there were a Quran that could move mountains, cleft the earth asunder, or make the dead speak, surely all things are subject to Allah's command. Have not yet the believers been satisfied that if Allah wanted, He would have certainly guided the whole of mankind? As for the unbelievers, the disaster will not cease to afflict them every now and then, or to crouch at their very doorstep because of their misdeeds, until the promise of Allah is fulfilled. Surely Allah will not fail in His promise. Rasuls have been mocked before you, O Muhammad, but I always gave respite to the unbelievers, and finally I seized them. So see how terrible was my requital. Is He who watches over each and every soul and knows all that it does like any other? Yet they ascribe partners to Allah. Say, then name them. Do you mean to inform Him of something new that He Himself does not know on this earth? Or do you merely utter empty words? Nay, indeed, their foul devices seem fair to the unbelievers, for they have been debarred from the right way, and there is none to guide those whom Allah has let go astray. They shall be punished in the life of this world. Still more grievous is the punishment of the hereafter, and there is none to protect them from Allah. The example of the paradise which the righteous have been promised is one beneath which rivers flow. Eternal are its fruits, and eternal are its shades. Such is the reward of the righteous, but the reward of the unbelievers is the fire. O Prophet, some of those to whom we have given the book rejoice at what is revealed to you, while there are some factions who deny a part of it. Tell them, I am commanded to worship Allah and to associate none with Him. To Him I invite people, and to Him I shall return. Thus we have revealed it, a legislation in the Arabic language. Now, if you follow their vain desires after real knowledge has come to you, there will be none to help or protect you against the wrath of Allah. We have sent forth other Rasuls before you and given them wives and children, and it was never in the power of a Rasul to show any miracle without the sanction of Allah. For each period there was a book. Allah abrogates and confirms what He pleases. With Him is the master copy of the book. O Muhammad, whether we let you see within your lifetime a part of what we threaten them with, or cause you to die before we smite them, your mission is only to deliver the message, and it is for us to take accountability. Do they not see that we are gradually reducing the land in their control through curtailing its borders? When Allah commands, there is none to reverse His command, and He is swift in taking accountability. Those unbelievers who have passed before them also devise plots, but Allah is the master of all plots. He knows the actions of every soul. Soon the unbelievers will come to know who will get the home of paradise in the hereafter. The unbelievers say, You are no Rasul. Say, Allah is all sufficient witness between me and you, and so are those who have knowledge of the book. Subhanallah. We're going to go ahead and turn to Surah Ibrahim. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Alif Lam Ra. This is a book which we have revealed to you so that you may bring mankind out of their utter darkness to the light by the leave of their Rabb, to the way of the mighty, the praiseworthy. Allah, the one to whom belongs all that is in the heavens and in the earth. Woe to the unbelievers, for they will be sternly punished. Those who love the life of this world more than the hereafter, who debar others from the way of Allah and seek to make it crooked, they have gone far astray into error. We have not sent any Rasul except that he spoke the language of his own people, so that he could explain to them clearly. Then Allah leaves in error whom he wills and guides whom he pleases. He is the mighty, the wise. When sent we sent Musa with our signs, saying, lead your people out of darkness into light and remind them of the days of Allah. Surely there are signs in this for every steadfast, thankful person. Recall when Musa said to his people, remember Allah's blessing upon you when we delivered you from the people of Fir'aun, who subjected you to cruel affliction, putting your sons to death and sparing your females. And in this there was a tremendous trial from your Rabb. Remember that your Rabb had forewarned, if you are grateful, I will bestow abundance upon you. But if you are ungrateful, my punishment will be terrible indeed. Musa said, if you and all the dwellers of the earth become unbelievers, you should know that he does not stand in need of any of you. Surely Allah is the self-sufficient, praiseworthy. Have you not heard the news of those who passed away before you, the people of Nuh, Ad, and Thamud, and those who came after them? Allah knows them. Their Rasuls came to them with clear signs, but they put their hands in their mouths and said, certainly we reject the message with which you have been sent, and certainly we strongly doubt the faith to which you invite us. The Rasuls responded, are you doubting the existence of Allah, who is the creator of the heavens and the earth? He is the one who invites you so that he may forgive your sins and give you respite till your appointed term. They said, you are nothing but humans like us. You only wish to turn us away from the worship of those deities whom our forefathers used to worship. Bring us some clear sign. The Rasul said to them, it is true that we are human like yourselves, but Allah bestows His grace of appointing a Rasul on such of His servants as He pleases. It is not in our power to bring you any sign except by Allah's permission. And in Allah let the believers put their trust. What reason do we have to not put our trust in Allah when He has already guided us to the way of our life? We have certainly endured your persecution patiently, and those who want to put their trust should put their trust in Allah. Finally, the unbelievers said to their Rasuls, return to our religion or we will expel you from our land. But their Rabb revealed His will to them. We shall destroy the wrongdoers and give you the land to dwell in after they're gone. This is the reward for those who dread His standing before me on the day of judgment and fear my threats. The Rasuls called for judgment. Every tyrant opposer of the truth was destroyed. Hell is next for him, wherein he will be given festering water to drink. He will sip this water, but he will hardly swallow it. Death will surround him from all sides, yet he will not die. Beyond that, there will be horrible punishment. The parable of the deeds of those who deny their Rabb is like ashes on which the wind blows furiously on a stormy day. They will gain nothing from their deeds, and that will be straying far away from the goal of getting back to paradise. Do you not see that Allah has based the creation of the heavens and the earth on truth? That He can remove you if He wills and brings in your place a new creation? That is not at all difficult for Allah. When all people appear before Allah, those who were weak in the world will say to those who thought themselves mighty, we were all your followers. Now can you do anything to relieve us from the punishment of Allah? They will say, had Allah given us guidance, we would have guided you. Now it makes no difference whether we panic or bear it with patience, for there is no escape for us. Once the matter has been decided, Shaitan will say, in fact, the promises which Allah made to you were all true. I too made some promises to you, but failed to keep any of them. However, I had no power over you. I just invited you and you accepted my invitation. Now, do not blame me, blame yourselves. I cannot help you, nor you can help me. I reject your former act of associating me with Allah. Certainly, such wrongdoers will have a painful punishment. Those who believe and do good deeds will be admitted to paradise beneath which rivers flow, to live therein forever with the permission of their Rabb, and their greetings therein will be peace. Do you not see how Allah gave the example of comparing a good word with a good tree? Those whose roots are firm and its branches high in the sky, it yields its fruits in every season by Allah's leave. Allah cites these examples for people so that they may learn a lesson from them. But the example of an evil word is that of an evil tree which is torn out from the earth and has no stability. With firm words, Allah makes the believers steadfast in the life of this world and in the hereafter. But Allah lets the wrongdoers go astray. Allah does what He pleases. Have you not seen those people who the grace of Allah would disbelieve? And have you not seen those people who the grace of Allah would disbelieve and drive their people into the house of perdition, which is hell, wherein they shall burn, an evil place to live? They set up equals with Allah to mislead people from His way. Tell them, well, you may enjoy yourself for a while, but your final destination is going to be hellfire. O Prophet, tell my devotees who have believed to establish salah and spend in charity openly and secretly out of the sustenance which we have given them, before the coming of that day in which there will be neither trading nor any friendship. It is Allah who has created the heavens and the earth, and He sends down water from the sky with which He brings forth fruits for your sustenance. He has made the ships subservient to you, that they may sail through the sea by His command, and likewise the rivers are made for your benefit. The sun and the moon are assigned for your service, which steadfastly pursue their courses, and has made the night and the day for your benefit. He has given you all that you could ask for, and if you want to count the favors of Allah, you will never be able to count them. In fact, man is unjust, thankless. Remember when Ibrahim said, my Rabb, make this city a city of peace and save me and my sons from the worship of idols. O my Rabb, they have indeed led many people astray. Therefore, only those who follow my ways belong to me. And as for those who disobey me, surely you are forgiving, merciful. Our Rabb, I have settled some of my offspring in a barren valley near your sacred house. Our Rabb, I have done this in the hope that they would establish Salah. Therefore, turn the hearts of some people towards them and provide them with fruit so that they may give thanks. Our Rabb, certainly you know what we conceal and what we reveal. In fact, nothing in the earth or in the heaven is hidden from Allah. Praise be to Allah who has given me Ismail and Ishaq. In my old age, indeed, my Rabb hears all prayers. O my Rabb, make me one who establishes Salah and also from my descendants. Our Rabb, accept my prayer. Our Rabb, forgive me and my parents and all the believers on the day when the accountability will take place. Never think that Allah is unaware of these unjust people doing. He is only deferring their case to that day when their eyes will be fixedly open. They will be running in terror with their heads uplifted, staring, but seeing nothing in their hearts utterly vacant. O Muhammad, forewarn mankind of the day when our punishment will overtake them, when the wrongdoers will say, our Rabb, give us a little more respite. We will answer your call and follow the Rasuls, but it will be said to them, Are you not the same people who once swore that you would suffer no decline, and you lived among the dwellings of those who had wronged their souls, and it had become clear to you how we dealt with them, and we even described for you many examples. They hatched their plots, but their plots were well within the sight of Allah, even though their plots were such which could move mountains. Never think that Allah will break the promise which He has made to His Rasuls. Surely Allah is mighty in power, the Lord of retribution. Warn them of the day when the earth will be changed to a different earth and the heavens as well, and all of them will stand before Allah, the One, the Irresistible. And on that day, you will see the criminals bound together in chains. Their garments will be made of tar, and their faces will be covered with flames. Allah will requite each soul according to its deeds. Surely, Allah is swift in taking account. This is a proclamation for mankind. Let them take warning therefrom. Let them know that He is the one and only, worthy of worship, and let the people of understanding learn a lesson. Subhanallah, just finished Surah Ibrahim. We're going to start Surah Al-Hijr. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, in the name of Allah, the compassionate, the merciful. Alif, Lam, Ra. These are the verses of the divine book, the glorious Quran, which makes things clear. And that brings us to Juz 14, Alhamdulillah. The day will come when the believers will wish that they were Muslims. Leave them alone to eat and enjoy themselves and be deluded by false hopes. For soon they will find out the truth. Never did we destroy a town whose term of life was not ordained beforehand. No people can forestall their doom, nor can they postpone it. They say, O you to whom the reminder is being revealed, you are surely insane. Why don't you bring us the angels if you are of the truthful ones? O Muhammad, tell them, we do not send down the angels except for just cause. And when they come, people are not given respite. Surely we have revealed this reminder, the Quran, and we will surely preserve it ourselves. Certainly, we sent Rasuls before you among the early nations. But whenever a Rasul came to them, they mocked him. Thus do we let doubt creep into their hearts, for thus do we let doubt creep into the hearts of the criminals, that they do not believe in it, while there has already occurred the precedent of the former people. Even if we hadn't opened a gate in heaven and they ascend through it and keep on ascending, they still would have said, our eyes have been dazzled, rather we have been bewitched. It is we who have put constellations in the heaven, decked it with stars, and made it fair seeming for the beholders. And we have guarded them from every accursed shaitan. Any shaitan that steals a hearing, there follows him a bright flaming fire. We have spread out the earth and set mountains upon it, and caused to grow every suitable thing therein. And we provided therein means of sustenance for you and many other creatures to whom you do not provide. There is nothing which is not in our inexhaustible treasure and sent down in an appropriate measure. We send the fertilizing winds and send down water from the sky for you to drink. It is not you who hold the storage of this wealth. Certainly, it is we who give life and cause to die, and we are the inheritors of all. Certainly, we have full knowledge of those who have gone before you, and certainly, we know those who will come later. Surely, your Rabb will gather them together. Surely, He is wise, knowledgeable. We created man from sounding clay of altered black mud, while before him we had created jinn from smokeless fire. Remember when your Rab said to the angels, I am about to create a man from sounding clay of altered black mud. When I complete his molding and breathe into him my created soul, kneel down and prostrate before him. Although the angels prostrated together, except Iblis, he refused to join those who prostrated. Allah asked, O Iblis, what is the matter with you that you did not join those who prostrated? He replied, It does not behoove me to prostrate myself to this man whom you have created from sounding clay of altered black mud. Allah said, Get out of here, you are accursed. The curse will remain on you till the day of judgment. At this, Iblis requested, O my Rabb, give me respite till the day of resurrection. Allah said, All right, you are given the respite till the day of an appointed time. Iblis said, O my Rabb, since you let me go astray, I will make evil fair seeming to them on earth, and I will seduce them all, except those of them who are your sincere devotees. Allah said, This course of action is all right with me. You will not have any authority over my devotees except those misguided ones who follow you. Surely hell shall be the promised place for them all, which has 7 gates. Each gate will be assigned to a separate group from among them. The righteous will be in the midst of the gardens and fountains of paradise, and it will be said to them, Enter into these in peace and security. We shall remove all hatred from their hearts. They will become like brothers and sit on couches face to face. No fatigue will touch them in there, nor will they ever be asked to leave. O Prophet, tell my devotees that I am indeed forgiving the merciful. But at the same time, my punishment is also most painful punishment. Tell them about the guests of Ibrahim. They entered upon him and said, Peace be upon you. That he replied, Surely we are afraid of you. They answered, Do not be afraid of us. We have come to you with good news of a son endowed with knowledge. He said, Are you giving me the good news of a son when I have become old? What kind of good news are you giving? They replied, We're giving you true good news. You should not be of those who despair. He said, Who would despair of the mercy of his Rabb except those who are astray? Then he asked, On what expedition have you been sent, O emissaries of Allah? They replied, We have been sent to punish the nation of criminals, with the exception of Lut's family. We will certainly rescue them all, except his wife, who Allah says has been destined to remain with those who will stay behind. So, when the emissaries came to the family of Lot, he said, You appear to be strangers. They said, We have come to you with a scourge concerning which these people had doubts. We have come to you with the truth of Allah's decree, and we are telling you the truth. You should therefore depart with your family during a part of the night, and you yourself should follow them at their rear. Let no one of you look back. Keep on going where you're commanded to go. We informed him about this decree of ours that the roots of the sinners of his city would be cut off by the morning. The people of the town came rejoicing at the news of the young men's arrival. Lut said, They're my guests, so do not disgrace me. Have fear of Allah and do not put me to shame. They said, Have we not forbidden you from protecting other people? He said, Here are my daughters, if you must act. By your life, O Prophet Muhammad, they were madly blundering in their intoxication of lust. So the mighty blast overtook them at sunrise. Thus we turned the town upside down and rained down on them brimstones of baked clay. Surely there are signs in this for those who investigate. And this smitten town still lies right on the permanent highway on which the unbelievers travel during their business trips. Indeed, there is a sign in this for the true believers. The people of Al Aika were also wrongdoers, so we inflicted retribution on them. The ruined towns of those two nations are lying on an open road. The people of Hijr also denied the Rasuls. We gave them our signs, but they ignored them. They hewed their homes in the mountains for safety, but the mighty blast seized them early morning. And all their labor of building their homes through carving the rocks did not avail them. We have not created the heavens and the earth and all that lies between them, but to manifest the truth. The hour of doom is sure to come, so overlook their misbehavior in a gracious manner. Surely your Rabb is the all knowing Creator. We have given you the 7 verses that are worthy of recitation over and over again in the glorious Quran. Do not look at the worldly wealth which we have given to different people among them, nor grieve at their condition. Leave them alone. Attend to the believers in kindness, and tell the unbelievers, surely I am only a plain warner. This warning is like the warning which we sent down to the schismatics, those who divided the Quran into separate parts, believing in some and denying others. So by your Rabb, we will question them all about their doings. Therefore, proclaim publicly what you are commanded and turn away from the mushrikeen. Surely we ourselves will suffice you against the scoffers. Those who place other deities alongside Allah will soon come to know their folly. We know that your heart is distressed by what they say against you. The cure of your heart's distress is that you should celebrate the praises of your Rabb and be of those who prostrate themselves before Him and worship your Rabb until there comes to you that which is certain, death. Subhanallah, we just finished Surah Hijr. Now we're going to start Surah An-Nahl, one of my favorite surahs. Woo! Women, if any women are listening or if any women come across this video, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, try to listen patiently with the ears of your heart's understanding to the surah, because this surah can really empower women towards pleasing Allah the way that Allah wants us to please Him. So may Allah guide us all, because women, we can be the most positive force, or we could be the most negative, and Allah knows best. But I do really, really appreciate this surah. It's powerful. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, in the name of Allah, the Compassionate, the Merciful. Allah's commandment has come, so do not seek to hasten it. Glory be to Him, and exalted be He above the shirk that they practice. He sends down His angels with inspiration of His command to whom He pleases of His servants, saying, warn the people that are no God except me. Thereafter, fear me. He has created the heavens and the earth to manifest the truth. Exalted be He above the shirk that they practice. He created man from a drop of semen, yet he is an open contender. He created cattle which provide you with warm clothing, numerous benefits, and some of them you eat. How pleasant they look to you when you bring them home in the evening and drive them to pasture in the morning. They carry your heavy loads to far off towns that you could not otherwise reach without painful toil. Indeed, your Rabb is kind and merciful. He has created horses, mules, and donkeys for you to ride and put on show, and He also creates other things which are beyond your knowledge. It is up to Allah to show the right way when there exist some crooked ways, If Allah wanted, He would have guided you all. It is He who sends down water from the sky, which provide drinking water for you and bring forth fodder to pasture your cattle. With it He grows for you crops, olives, date palms, grapes, and every kind of fruit. Surely there is a great sign in this for those who think. He has subjected to your service the night and the day, the sun and the moon, and likewise the stars also serve you by his command. Surely there are signs in this for people who use their common sense. And he has subjected whatever he multiplied for you on the earth of different colors. Surely there is a sign in this for those who want to get reminded. It is he who has subjected the sea to your service, that you may eat fresh meat therefrom, and that you may bring out of it ornaments to wear. And you see that ships plow their course through it. He has done all this so that you may seek his bounty, and so that you may pay thanks to him. He has set mountains on the earth, lest it should sway with you. He has set mountains on the earth, lest it should sway with you, and likewise made landmarks in the stars for your guidance. Is then he who has created all this like the one who cannot create? Why don't you get admonition? If you want to count the favors of Allah, you will never be able to count them. Surely Allah is forgiving, merciful. And Allah knows what you conceal and what you reveal. Those whom they invoke besides Allah have created nothing but are themselves created. They are dead, not living. They do not even know that they will be raised to life again. Your God is the one God. As for those who do not believe in the hereafter, they have faithless hearts and are puffed up from arrogance. Surely Allah surely knows what they conceal and what they reveal. Certainly He does not love the arrogant. When they are asked, what is it that your Rabb has revealed? They say, fictitious stories of the ancients. On the day of resurrection, they will bear their own burden in full, and some of the burdens of those whom they mislead without knowledge. Alas, evil is the burden which they bear. Those before them also plotted against the truth, but Allah shook their edifice through its foundation, and its roof caved in on them. And the torment came at them from where they did not even suspect. Then on the day of judgment, He will humiliate them and say, there are those deities who associated with me concerning whom you used to dispute with the true believers. Those who have been given knowledge will say, today there will be no shame and sorrow for the unbelievers. I'm going to read that again. Those who have been given knowledge will say, today there will be shame and sorrow for the unbelievers. Those whom the angels cause to die while they are still engaged in doing injustice to their own souls. At this time of death, they offer submission. We were not doing anything wrong, they will be replied. Oh, yeah, how dare you deny? Certainly Allah is well aware of what you are doing. Now go ahead and enter the gates of hell. There you will abide forever. In fact, very awful will be the abode of the arrogant. On the other hand, when the righteous people are asked, what is it that your Rabb has revealed? They say, that which is the best. Good is the reward for such righteous people in this world, and the home of the hereafter will be even better. How splendid will be the home for the righteous! Gardens of eternal abode will they enter, beneath which rivers flow, having therein all that they wish to have. Thus shall Allah reward the righteous. When the angels cause to die such pious people, they greet them, peace be upon you, enter the paradise for the good deeds you used to do. These unbelievers are only waiting for the angels to come down to take their lives or the commandment of your Rabb to come to pass for their doom. So did those who went before them. It was not Allah who was unjust to them, but they were unjust to themselves. At the end, the evil results of their deeds overtook them, and the very scourge at which they mocked hemmed them in. The mushrikeen say, if Allah wanted, neither we nor our forefathers would have worshipped anyone else but Him, nor made anything unlawful without His will. Such excuses were put forward also by those who went before them. Yet Rasuls have no more responsibility than to convey the message clearly. Indeed, we raised in every nation a Rasul saying, serve Allah and keep away the Taghut. After that, Allah guided some of them while straying proved true against the others. So travel through the earth and see what was the end of those who denied our message. No matter how eager you may be for their guidance, you should know that Allah does not guide those whom He let go astray, and such people will have no helpers. They solemnly swear their strongest oaths by Allah. Allah will never raise the dead to life. Why not? It is a promise which He has made binding on Himself, though most among mankind may not know it. It will be fulfilled so that He may manifest to them the truth about which they differ, and so that the rejectors of truth may know that they were indeed liars. As for its possibility, when we intend to do anything which we want, we need only say be, and it is. As for those who migrated for the sake of Allah after persecution, we will certainly provide them a good abode in this life, and the reward of the hereafter will be much greater. If they but knew what a happy end awaits those who bear ills with patience and put their trust in their Rabb. We have not sent any Rasul before you, O Muhammad, but were men whom we revealed our message. You may ask those who have the reminder. You may ask those who have the reminder if you don't know this fact for yourself. We sent those Rasuls with clear signs and scriptures, and now we have sent down the reminder to you, O Muhammad, so that you may explain clearly to mankind as to what was sent to them, so that they may think about it. Do those who plot evil deeds feel secure that Allah will not cave in the earth beneath them, or that the scourge will not come to them before direction that they did not suspect, or that He may not seize them in the course of their journey, leaving no way for their escape? Or that He may seize them after alerting them about the danger? Yet your Rabb is kind, merciful. Do they not see how every object that Allah has created casts its shadow right and left, prostrating itself to Allah in all humility? To Allah prostrate all the moving creatures of the heavens and the earth, including the angels, and they are not arrogant. They fear their Rabb who is above them, and they do whatever they are commanded to do. Allah has said, do not take two or more gods for worship. There exists only one God. I am the one whom you should fear. To Him belongs whatever is in the heavens and in the earth, and perpetual sincere devotion is always for Him alone. Would you then fear anyone other than Allah? Whatever blessings you enjoy are from Allah, and when touched by distress, He is the one to whom you cry for help. Yet, no sooner does He relieve you from the distress that some of you begin to associate with others than Him, as if to show their ingratitude for the favors that we bestow on them. Enjoy yourselves. Soon you will come to know the consequences. They set aside a portion of what we have provided them for those deities about whom they know nothing. By Allah, you shall most certainly be questioned about the lies you fabricate. They ascribe daughters to Allah. Glory be to Him. but for themselves they would like to have what they desire, sons. Whenever the news of a female child is announced to any one of them, his face darkens and he chokes with inward gloom. He hides himself from his people because of the bad news he has heard, asking himself whether he should retain her with disgrace or bury her in the dust. Beware, the evil is the judgment they make about Allah. To those who do not believe in the hereafter applies an evil similitude, while to Allah applies the highest attribute, for He is the mighty, the wise. If Allah were to punish mankind for their wrongdoing, He would not leave a single living creature on the face of the earth, but He gives them respite for an appointed time. So when their appointed time comes, they can neither stay behind for a moment nor can they go before it. They attribute to Allah what they themselves hate. Their tongues, mouths, the lie that they will have a good reward. Let there be no doubt. The only thing they will have is hell, to which they will be driven ahead of the others and left therein neglected. By Allah, we send Rasuls before you to other nations, but Shaitan made their deeds seem fair to them, so they did not believe. He is the patron today, and they shall have a painful punishment. We have revealed to you the book, the Quran, so that you may clearly explain to them the reality of those things in which they differ. It is a guidance and a blessing for those people who believe. Allah sends down water from the sky, and with it gives life to the land after it has been dead. Surely, in this example, there is a sign for those who listen. Surely there is a lesson for you in cattle. We give you we give you to drink of what is in their bellies, between their bowels and blood, pure milk, pleasant for those who drink it. Likewise, in the fruits of the date palms and the grapes, which you derive intoxicants, in wholesome food. Certainly in this there is a sign for the people who use their common sense. Behold, your Rabb inspired the bees to build their hives in the mountains, in the trees, and in anything which men may build for beekeeping, and feed on every kind of fruit, and follow the smooth ways of your Rabb. From its bellies comes forth a syrup of different colors, which contains a healing for mankind. Certainly, in this there is a sign for those who think. Allah is the one who created you, then He caused you to die. There are some amongst you whose lives are prolonged to an abject old age, so that they know nothing after having known much. In fact, Allah is the all knowing, almighty. Allah has made some of you excel in sustenance over the others. Those who are so favored do not give away their sustenance to their slaves so as to make them their equals. How can you think that Allah will allow other deities to be His equals? Would they refuse to acknowledge the favors of Allah? It is Allah who has made for you mates from your own species, and He is the one who gives you sons and grandsons through your wives, and provides for you good things to eat. Will they then, after knowing all that, believe in false deities that they deny the favors of Allah? They worship those deities other than Allah, who neither provide them anything for sustenance from the heavens or the earth, nor have any power to do so. Therefore, compare none with Allah. Surely Allah knows, and you know not. Allah gives you another example of two men. One of them is a slave, the property of the other, and has no power over anything, and the other man is one of whom we have bestowed our bounty, from which he freely spends secretly and openly. Ask them, are those two men equal? Praise be to Allah, most of them do not understand this simple thing. Well, Allah gives you another example of two men. One of them is dumb and has no ability to do anything, a burden on his master. Whenever he sends him on an errand, he does nothing useful. Can he be equal to the one who enjoys justice and follows the right way? Allah alone has knowledge of the unseen things of the heavens and the earth. As for the advent of the hour of judgment, it will be like a twinkling of an eye or even quicker. Surely Allah has power over everything. Allah brought you forth from the wombs of your mothers when you knew nothing, and He gave you hearing, sight, and intelligence so that you may give thanks to Him. Do they not see the birds that wing their flight in the air towards the sky? Who holds them up but Allah? Surely in this there are signs for true believers. Allah has made your homes the places for your rest, and from animal skins tents for dwelling, so that they may find them light when you travel and easy to pitch when you stop. While from their wool, fur, and hair he has provided you with household items and articles of convenience for your prescribed term of life. Allah has provided you shade from the sun out of what He has created. He has granted you resorts in the mountains. He has granted you garments to protect yourselves from heat and cold, and coats of armor to protect you during your wars. Thus He completes His favor to you, so that you may give no heed to you, O Muhammad. You need not worry, for your duty is only to convey the message clearly. They recognize the favors of Allah, yet they deny them. Most of them are ungrateful disbelievers. Do they realize what will happen on the day when we shall call a witness from every nation? Then the unbelievers will neither be allowed to put forward any excuse, nor will they be allowed to repent. When the wrongdoers face the punishment, it will neither be lightened for them, nor will they be granted delay. When the mushrikeen see their deities, whom they associated with Allah, they will say, Our Rabb, here are associated gods whom we used to invoke besides you. At this, their deities will toss their statements back at them and say, You are liars. They shall tender their submission to Allah that day, and the gods of their own inventions will leave them in the lurch. As for those who disbelieve and debar others from the way of Allah, we shall punish them all the more for their mischief. O Muhammad, warn them about that day when we shall call a witness from every nation to testify against it, and we shall call you, O Muhammad, to testify against them. That is why we sent down to you this book, to explain everything, a guide, a blessing, and good news for those who surrender themselves to Allah. Allah commands justice, good conduct, and giving to near relatives, and He forbids indecency, injustice, and rebellion. He admonishes you so that you may take heed. Fulfill the covenant of Allah when you have pledged to do so, and do not break your oaths after you have sworn them. For swearing in His name, you have made Allah your surety. Surely, Allah has knowledge over all that you do. Do not behave like that woman who had spun her yarn strongly and then broke it into pieces herself, nor take your oaths as means of deceit between you, so that your group may become greater in number and more powerful than the other. For Allah puts you to trial by these oaths. And on the day of resurrection, He will certainly make clear to you the truth about which you deferred. If Allah wanted, He could have made you all one nation, but He lets go astray whom He wants and guides whom He pleases. But most certainly you will be questioned about all your actions. O believers, do not take oaths to deceive each other, lest your foot slip after being firmly fixed upon guidance, and taste the evil consequences for debarring others from the way of Allah, and incur a mighty punishment. Do not sell the covenant of Allah for a petty price. Certainly, Allah's reward is far better than all your gain, if you but knew it. Whatever is with you is transitory, and whatever is with Allah is everlasting. You will certainly reward those who are patient according to the noblest of their deeds. Whoever does righteous deeds, whether male or female, provided he is a believer, we shall surely grant him a good life, and we will certainly reward such people according to the noblest of their deeds in the hereafter. When you recite the Quran, seek Allah's protection from the cursed shaitan. Surely he has no authority over those who believe and put their trust in their Rabb. His authority is only over those who befriend him and commit shirk with him. When we substitute one verse in favor of another, and Allah knows best what He reveals in stages, they say, "You are but a forager." The fact is that most of them do not understand. Say, "The Holy Spirit Jibrail has brought it down piecemeal with truth from your Rabb to strengthen the faith of the believers and to give guidance and good news to the Muslims. We know very well what they say about you, O Muhammad. A certain man teaches him." But the man they allude to speak a foreign language while this Quran is in eloquent Arabic. In fact, Allah does not guide to those who do not believe in His revelations, and they will have a painful punishment. Surely those who do not believe in the revelations of Allah are the ones who forge the falsehood, and they are the ones who are liars. Anyone who is forced to deny faith after its acceptance while his heart remains loyal to the faith shall be absolved. But any who denies faith willingly after its acceptance, opens his breast to unbelief, shall incur the wrath of Allah and shall be sternly punished. This is because such people love the life of this world more than the hereafter, and that Allah does not guide such unbelievers. Such are those whose hearts, ears, and eyes are sealed by Allah, and they are the ones who are heedless. There is no doubt that in the hereafter they will be the losers. On the other hand, Allah is most surely forgiving and compassionate towards those who had to leave their homes after being persecuted because of their faith, fought for the cause of Allah, and remained patient. On the day of judgment, every soul will come pleading for itself, and every soul will be paid in full for what it has done, and they shall not be dealt with unjustly. Allah gives you an example of a town which was enjoying security and peace, receiving its provisions and abundance from every quarter, but it became ungrateful for the favors of Allah. As a result, Allah made its residents taste the consequences of their doing through inflicting them with misfortune of hunger and fear. A Rasul was sent to them from amongst themselves, but they denied him. So the punishment overtook them because they were wrongdoers. So eat of the good and lawful things which Allah has provided for you, and be grateful to Allah for His favors if you are sincere to His worship. He has only forbidden you to eat carrion, blood, flesh of swine, and that over which any name other than Allah has been invoked. But if one is forced by necessity, intending neither to break the divine law nor to transgress limits, then surely Allah is forgiving and merciful. You shall not falsely declare with your tongues, "This is lawful and that is forbidden," in order to ascribe false things to Allah, for those who forge lies against Allah will never prosper. Brief is their enjoyment of this life, and they shall have a painful punishment. To the Jews, we prohibited those things which we already mentioned to you. We were not unjust to them, but they were unjust to themselves. Yet your Rabb is forgiving and merciful towards those who do something wrong through ignorance, but later repent and mend their ways. Surely Ibrahim was an ummah, an upright man, obedient to Allah, and he was not of the mushrikeen. He was always grateful for the favors of Allah, who chose him and guided him to the right way. We gave him a good life in this world, and in the hereafter he will be among the righteous. And now we have revealed to you our will, saying, "Follow me, the faith of Ibrahim the upright, who was not one of the mushrikeen." As for the Sabbath, it was ordained for those who deferred about its observance. Surely your Rabb will judge between them on the day of resurrection about that over which they differ. Call people to the way of your Rabb with wisdom and best advice, and reason with them if you have to, in the most courteous manner, for your Rabb knows best who strays from his way, and he knows best who is rightly guided. If you have to retaliate, let your retaliation be commensurate with the wrong which was done to you, if you endure with patience. The best reward indeed is for those who endure with patience. Be patient, for your patience is not but with the help of Allah. Do not grieve over them, and do not distress yourselves because of their plots. And Allah is with those who fear Him and adopt the righteous attitude. SubhanAllah, that brings us to the end of Juz 14. And tomorrow we will start with Juz 15. And we will only do one juz at a time, inshallah, for the remainder of Ramadan, starting with Surah Al-Isra, inshallah. Thank you so much for your patience, and may Allah forgive me for the mistakes that I made because I was getting tired there towards the end. So may Allah help me. I'm going to turn to this dua book that my brother gifted me. May Allah grant him reward for thinking of me and buying me such an intentionally beautiful Quranic dua book. Dua here says, Rabbi, inna qawmi qad dabun, fafta bayni wa baynahum fatan wa najini wa man ma'iya minal mu'mineen. My Lord, indeed my people have denied me. Then judge between me and them with decisive judgment and save me and those with me of the believers. I feel like as Muslims we get frequently denied, especially with the propaganda in the West that makes Islam look like it's not the religion of peace. So I pray that Allah does not deny us, even if the entire world denies us. And I pray that our hearts continuously accept Allah as its sole creator, and that Allah empties us of ourselves thoroughly and fills us up with Himself thoroughly and doesn't leave us to ourselves even for a blink of an eye. Ameen. Subhanallah. Thank you for anyone that was here. Assalamu alaikum.